welcome to this episode of Cali and Craig Talk. I'm Callie.
And I'm Craig.
Today, just you and me, bestie.
Just us. Just
Yeah,
us.
yeah, super easy besties chat episode. We can talk about all the things that we're doing because we have
Yeah,
been
there's a
super
lot.
duper busy. Yeah. Well, today we're making, not on the podcast, but today you're
No,
making tofu, right?
I
Today's
am.
tofu
Yes.
day. Yeah.
Yes.
I have never had tofu. I think I told you that.
Yeah, I don't have tofu very often. But when it's made well, it can be really, really good. I'm not
Yeah.
that good at making it well. So we'll see. It's a bit of a hit or miss thing with me.
I doubt that. I do remember you making it last year. You made it one time last year and it looked really neat because it's kind of like a cube that it comes out, right? Like a
Yep.
block almost. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm making black bean tofu, which is also known as, which is a form of Burmese tofu. So it's really soft compared to
Hmm.
soybean tofu, like most people get soybean, which is can
Yeah.
be firm or soft, but it holds together well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm making tofu from scratch, black bean tofu, and then so that's the easy part. Then turning it into dinner,
Yeah.
that's the hard part.
What are you gonna do with So like I know you had to soak the beans last night, right?
Yeah,
So you
I've got them
soak the
right here.
beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you have to blend them probably. No?
Yeah, I drain them and rinse them, and then
Yeah.
I throw them through a food processor.
Hmm.
And I think I like mix it with a bunch of water and then press it through a metal sieve so that
Yeah.
I separate some of the solids. And
Yeah.
then I like cook it and whisk it until it gets really thick and goopy. And then I
Hmm.
pour it into a little dish and it sets and it turns into tofu.
And what are you gonna do with it after that though?
I haven't decided yet.
Mm.
Because so part of the problem I have is since I don't cook with tofu, I don't really
Hmm.
know how to do it well. So I'm gonna look up recipes that
We'll have to
use
look them up
Burmese
today.
tofu. Yeah.
Yeah, today we'll look some up after we record. We can look for some. I know we did have a recipe that was using tofu, but we ended up not using tofu. What was that recipe? You and I
Was
just
it
made something, right?
it
What was
was the
that?
potato soup.
The
It was
potato
instead of the
soup.
bacon. Yeah.
But you know what you could probably use from that recipe? Remember they showed a seasoning that they put on it. Remember?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
what made that tofu look good was because they cooked it and then they added like some kind of a seasoning, like a sauce almost on it, and they cooked it in there. So it was like the
Hmm.
tofu turned different color. We'll have to look that one up and see what that is. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Maybe.
Another way to make tofu tastier, if you're making tofu from scratch like I am, is you can mix some seasoning in the bean mixture as you're making
Mm-hmm.
the tofu. So then it's flavored from the inside. But
Mm.
I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to do that.
I don't know. You know, we have to take a picture because anyone who listens to the podcast knows that every time we cook, you always tell me, trust the process.
Yeah,
And you have a new trust the process mug that your bestie sent to you.
I
So we'll have to take a picture
do.
of it. So we'll take a picture of it
Okay,
and post it with maybe with this episode, probably, because there have been a lot of things we've had to trust the process on
they
this
have.
week, just this week alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
for one is covers, because my
Yeah.
book, which I won't say the title of yet because we haven't revealed the title yet. But
Mm-hmm.
my pirate book, we have been hard at work on the cover. Well, two covers actually. But
Yes, we have.
cover design is something that I feel like people think is really fun, like when you're not an author. And it
Mm-hmm.
is really fun. Like it's really cool in theory. Like it's
Yeah.
really cool. And it's cool when it comes together, but it's so stressful.
Oh, very much, and so frustrating
Yeah.
because you can see it in your head, but
Hmm.
as good as you can see it, you can't get it that way
Hmm.
on the screen. Hmm.
Yeah, and I have like I say I have zero artistic ability, but some stuff I am okay with. I just am not, I don't consider myself to have any. And like when it really comes out with covers because I'm like when I stare at it, I'm like, I don't even know where anything should go. Where should this go and where does that go? So it usually takes you and I a while. I think we finally nailed down the paperback last night
We
though.
did. Yep,
Paperback
and
I'm
we're
happy with.
like
Yeah.
halfway to a hardcover, I think.
We are, yeah, because I'm going to do two different designs this time because I've always wanted a title cover. So one will be a title cover and then one will be an illustrated cover. But it's hard, I think, to like because you want what you want, right? Because it's your book, but you also want something that readers are going to want to put on their shelves, and that
Hmm.
not only that they're going to want to put on their shelves, but that will stand out online And it possibly in a bookstore, like if your book is in a bookstore, you want it to stand out too, which is really hard because it's just in a
Hmm.
sea of books. But especially online, like the thing that we always talk about is the thumbnail.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Shrink it down real, real small because that's how it
Hmm.
shows up on Amazon. Hmm.
Yeah. And so I've seen books that like it's really hard to tell what they are when we shrink them down. So whenever we do my cover, we always shrink it way
Hmm.
down to see what it would look like. But I do wonder if other people realize that because most of the time that's how the book is seen, I feel like. A lot
Hmm.
of times when you're scanning, well, when you're like scrolling things, you just see that little tiny thing, you think?
Yeah, like I mean, it's small enough in the Amazon search results, but when you're on the Amazon on a page for a book, and they've got like other books you might be interested in at the bottom,
Yeah.
those are even smaller. And then we've seen some ads show up that are even smaller for the covers.
Hmm. Well,
Hmm.
this cover, I know that we picked like these pinks, and I had a couple people make sure that they, we had people ask they like it, which pink is my favorite, so I'm happy,
Hmm.
obviously. But I was told today that my millennial was showing by having a pink cover.
That's okay. I think most of our readers are, or most of your readers are probably millennials, so
Maybe, I don't
appealing to
know.
your target audience.
I think a lot of people like pink, regardless of whether they're millennials or
Hmm.
not. But my oldest disagrees with that. So, but she did give me some ideas for the hardcover, which I agree with that I like. So I think but you and I were already talking about that color scheme anyway, so she can't really take full credit for it. But yeah,
Okay.
my millennial was showing using using pink. I'm like, okay, which is fine for me. And then for you, we're gonna have to
Yes.
go through the same process for you pretty soon.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. I've finally got Drag Queens 2 coming out in a
Mm-hmm.
couple months. Finished writing
Mm-hmm.
it with the editor right now.
Mm-hmm.
Drag Queens, Ripped Jeans, and Movie Scenes, I believe is going to be the final title.
Wow, we
Yeah,
didn't even do a title reveal for you. There you go.
yeah, there you go.
It's fine. Anybody who
Mhm.
hears it, that's just go, we'll just pre-order the
Yeah,
book when it comes out. That's all.
yeah,
It
there we
is a
go.
great title though. It really is. It really is such a
Mhm.
great title. I'm so glad you finished it. I'm happy. So we're on track with all of our projects, by the way.
We are.
Like for the
We
year, like
had
we are
high
kicking ass.
standards.
And
Yeah.
we're kicking ass already because we have two new releases that are set to come out basically mine is like coming out within a month-ish. Like
Yeah,
I don't,
mine's about a
very
month
soon.
after. Yeah.
Yeah, like a month after. Are we doing you a month after? Are we doing you
I think
a
I'm like
month
3 weeks
after?
after. I'm
Yeah,
not a
I
full
think so.
month
It was
after.
either 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm excited. And then we're already on to our next books.
Hmm.
And the recipe book is coming along, like everything is going on. But
Yeah,
for you, for drag queens, do you think you want the cover to be similar to the first one?
I think so. I like
Mm-hmm.
having a sort of thematic vibe across the
Mm-hmm.
series, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
probably have something very similar to the first one, which means it's easier because I can just tell
Mm-hmm.
our in-house cover designer, do that, but with a different
Mm-hmm.
person.
Well, what's cool too is because like you and I do some of the cover design too afterwards because we usually tweak things because
Yeah.
I don't know, you're not as picky as me. I will definitely say that. You are definitely more of like a this is good enough and I'll take
Yeah,
it. And
it
then you
works.
you grow to like it, more usually. And for me,
Yeah.
like I won't grow to like something, I'll grow to hate it even more. So usually we end up tweaking stuff, but the cover artist usually does a really good job of getting where we want to start, like for my
Yeah.
books. But other people like their covers are fantastic. Like I love the work that
Mhm.
our cover artist does, and I do love what he does with mine. I'm just incredibly picky about what I
Yeah.
want.
And
So
then like with yours, even though we end up tweaking colors and layout a bit, one thing that we pretty consistently, I think entirely consistently keep is the font title design that our designer does.
he's really good with
Yeah,
fonts. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the
because
only
that's a
one we
real
didn't
skill.
keep was Cooper. Cooper we changed.
Yes.
That's the only
Yes.
one. But it doesn't matter because what Ave is really good at doing, and I'm sure I can say Ave because it's in
Hmm.
books and stuff.
Yeah.
What Ave is really good at doing at is not only titles, but he's really good at placement. So
Yes.
like that is where I struggle because I have only specific things that I want on there. And he is very good at like coming up with ideas. I'm just so strict in what I want that I don't want
Hmm.
them. But he's very good at placing objects and what goes together. Like he can really see it as a whole. So like
Hmm.
I think the thing that we have gone with is the placement of everything. So
Yes.
whether we've removed elements, we've always gone with the placement because the way that he laid out the Cooper cover, we kept that layout. We just changed the background and we changed the
Hmm.
font. And then Frode, again, kept the layout. We just changed the background and changed the colors. That's it.
Yeah.
And we just removed some stuff. That was it. But everything
Hmm.
he does is really good. Like I haven't seen a single cover that Ave has made that I've been like, oh God, like they're horrible.
Hmm.
Because they're good, they're all good designs.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We have a couple that are coming out. I can't wait until they hit for pre-order because they look so good. I'm really excited about them. So yeah, I'm excited for Drag Queens to see what Ave comes up with. And I do love the title. How we're gonna fit that title on there is
Thankfully, we're slowly moving away from Twitter, which has the smallest character count.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I just posted on Twitter, I think for the first time in, I don't know, 3 months. Because
hmm
usually I just retweet, but I wanted to see what would happen because you know I'm such an algorithm nerd. I'm always trying to figure out how it works. I told you this morning that will be like you could put that on my what is that, an epitaph? Is that an epitaph that goes on a tombstone?
uh, I always get
Is it
epigram and epitaph mixed up. I think epitaph
I
is
think
tombstone.
epitaph. Yeah.
Yes.
Just like she died never understanding the algorithm. Like you could put that on there. Or she still didn't understand the algorithm because I don't understand it. But yeah, I did tweet today. I don't know. And my title is how many? Okay, hold on. See how many words your title is. I'm not gonna say mine out loud. Hold on. Does and
Uh,
count if it's an ampersand? Would I count
I
that?
am going to count
Okay,
that.
I'll
So
count it
I'll
too.
say mine out loud so we don't have like 10 seconds of silence. So drag queens, ripped jeans, and movie scenes. So that is
Ah,
7 for me.
I win. I have six.
Okay. Well, it depends. Are we competing for shortest or
We're
longest? Because
competing for shortest because every time we release a book, we say the next titles are not going to be long. Every single time. I'm looking at Cooper because I have, the big things on the wall, which cookies will be here soon. So the one that's on the wall, you can call me Cooper's 5.
yeah.
Frederick Gay, son of Dracula, is also 5. And then this one will be 6. How
Hmm.
about cookies? Cookies, candles, and cute butts for Christmas. Oh, that one's 7.
Hmm.
So between 5 and 7. I was really hoping this one was going to be nice and short, but didn't work out. So
Yeah. With our eventual, not eventual, but with our next Christmas book, we'll have a real short title. Really, really short.
I don't feel like we will. We didn't come up with one, did we? You're giving me the
I
face. We
don't
didn't come up
think
with one,
so.
did we?
No,
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
think
we
so.
didn't.
No, no.
We didn't even start brainstorming it yet. But I'm
No.
just so excited about that one because this one I think, like, I love cookies and candles because it's our first one that we wrote together, and I'll always love them. I don't know. This one I feel like has the potential to be even better.
I think so. Yes.
Like I really do.
I
Like I
love,
really love what we've come
yeah.
up with this. Like I really, really do. And it started out with like we're making Craig's character and like when we come up with characters, we just, shoot the ideas back and forth. And like after like 20 minutes, Craig's character was like full fleshed out. And I was like, there's no way I can make a character as good as this one. Because I felt like we both put all of our best ideas into your character, but my character has come along now. So I think
Hmm. Hmm.
he's just as good. I still think yours will probably be the favorite because there's always, but people switch, like there are
Hmm.
some that are team this. Like there are certainly people who are like, I like Kellen more than Braden and I like Braden more than Kellen. It goes the same way whenever there's a couple. But I do think, I don't know, your character is just so cute. I don't know.
Well, my
Yeah.
character is a bit of a dorky dweeb, and yours
Yeah.
is more of like a sex symbol. So depends
Yeah.
what the reader is looking for.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We can't give away too much. It's only March. But yes, they're definitely different. So
Hmm.
it will be more of the opposites attract, which never mind. Their personalities won't be similar. So there's that,
Hmm.
which is different for me because a lot of times my characters do have similar personalities.
I
But
do that too.
but
Yeah.
that's also because of me. Like, I think that's just my own influence and my own relationship because we are very similar. So I think that that's how that usually ends up coming out that way. Not sure. Like, I know the opposites attracting works.
Hmm.
for some people. So we'll see how it works when we write it. I guess
Yeah.
we'll see how it works. But I'm always interested in relationships. Like I have a lot of friends that are like opposite of their spouses, and I always find that so interesting because they don't like any of the same things. They don't have any of the same hobbies, but they work together. So
Hmm.
it's always
All right.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I am very excited about that. The other thing was taglines. I do like the tagline that we came up with. God, I can't talk. At least it's writing is my career,
Hmm.
not really
You
talking.
can edit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
can.
backspace what you just said. Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah,
beep, beep.
yeah, we just take it out. I do like the tagline we came up with. You have a tagline for drag queens yet?
I don't.
Okay, cool. I can't wait till we get to figure one out.
I'm
It's
trying to
fun
remember if
though.
I have a tagline for book one.
I don't
I
know. You
have like
have the
the,
other one for gay love is like he's out, but his boyfriend's not, or something, right?
yeah, and like I have this little file of tweet length taglines for
Mm-hmm.
books here in my phone. If I can, oh, for book one. Well, this is not a tagline. I guess this is like a two-sentence blurb. So for book one, drag queens, emo teens, and big dreams, I have for Corbin, his secret double life as a drag queen is the escape he needs from his oppressive life as a son in a hyper-masculine family. But that escape comes to an end when his older brother finds out his secret. That's not
Mm.
really a tagline. That's a two-sentence summary.
Yeah, no, it's less of a tagline, more of just a blurb,
Yeah.
like a mini tiny, like a tiny little.
So
Huh.
long answer short, I don't have a tagline.
Well, anyway, we have to figure out one. I don't know. I like mine. I tried hard this time to make sure that I had lines that I really, really liked. Usually I just write the story as it comes, and there were a lot of lines that I like in this book, and I did that intentionally so I had more marketing material, which I didn't do that ever before. So we'll see.
Hmm.
And you
Yeah.
seem to like it when you edited it, so I'm happy
Oh, I
about
loved
that.
it.
Yeah,
Super
I'm
good.
happy. Yeah. Is this your favorite book you said, right? Out of all the books I wrote or not?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, right? Well, Frode was your favorite first. So now this one
Hmm.
is. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is my favorite. So, like, I love all my characters equally. I won't choose between characters, but I will
Hmm.
say I think this is my favorite story.
Hmm.
I think. I think.
Yeah, it's got a lot of like adventure to it,
Yeah, it's
which I
cute.
really enjoyed. Yeah.
Yeah, there is like some mystery and there's like some pirate stuff going on, and we have
Hmm.
like pirate fights and like I don't know, we have lots of
Hmm.
fun, which was really fun writing the pirate fight. That was a fun time. I also was very nervous about that. Have you written that? I don't know if you've written any fight scenes. You written any fight scenes,
No. Like I mean in
right?
some unpublished stuff from years
Yeah.
and years and years ago. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nothing in that's been published from what I can remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It was difficult though, because it's like an elaborate dance, and you're like, where is
Yeah.
everyone moving and how is everyone doing? And then like for me, I don't like the book is serious, but it's also not like so serious that it's like, a serious book. Like it's
Hmm.
not a rom-com, but it's also not super
Yeah.
serious. So like there's fighting and it's serious, but then there's like that little bit of Cali
Yeah. And I find
stuff
fight scenes
splashed
are
in there.
very difficult to write effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's a tendency to over-explain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I won't name the book, but there is a book from a big five traditional publisher.
Mm-hmm.
There's this fight scene. Basically, what the author wanted to say was, if I remember right, the protagonist drops his gun, but then
Mm-hmm.
like dives down, catches his gun, and
Mm-hmm.
shoots a bad guy, like
Mm-hmm.
just that quick movement.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was a 70-word sentence,
Wow.
like way overwritten. All he had to do
Oh,
was
wow.
I dropped the gun, but I caught it before it hit the floor, and bang, 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 he's dead. I mean, write it better than that. But
Well,
that
yeah.
was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
fraction of the 70-word sentence.
Wow. And I feel like we get caught up on that as authors sometimes because like you want people to see it exactly the way that you see it. So I could see that being like easy to overwrite. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because I just said that. What was it yesterday? There's a scene towards the end because I really had this was I'm trying to think if I had less edits in this book than Frode. I think
Oh,
this
you
was
had way
less.
less edits. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which is good. I was happy about
Hmm.
that. But I don't like when stuff gets lost in dialogue tags. Like I really hate dialogue tags. And like there's a part at the end that I really, really wanted to be sure that it was being seen exactly. You know which scene I'm talking about, right?
Hmm.
And
I
I
think so.
really wanted to make sure that it was being seen as a fluid scene and it wasn't being like separated.
Hmm.
But it's so important that the reader knows exactly who is where. You know what I mean? Because if they
Hmm.
miss it or they misinterpret it, the last thing you want is someone to read it and then have to go back to figure out
Yep.
who was saying it. But if you have too much in the middle of it, like 70 words, I would imagine I've lost track of whatever the hell is happening at that point.
Hmm.
And then like that heightened anticipation of what's happening, like I feel like you would lose
And
that a little
then
bit in 70
with
words.
tense scenes,
Yeah.
especially action scenes,
Needs
you
to be
need short,
fast,
snappy,
fast.
quick
Yeah, yeah.
sentences, and a 70
Hmm.
word sentence just like slogs you down.
That was how I felt about that scene yesterday because I was like, I don't know, does this really need a dialogue tag here? Because if it really, really doesn't, like I don't want to put it here because I just want it to be read like boom, boom, boom because
Hmm.
of that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it. I really am. And I had no edits on a fight scene, by the way.
Yes, that's right.
That was a
Hmm.
super clean scene. There was nothing editable on that scene, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, taglines are always fun. The blurb was we I think we did a good job on the blurb, by the way.
We sent it
We'll
over to the
see.
big boss to see what
Send
he
it over to
thinks.
the big boss. We'll see what the big boss says. Well, he might say we did a terrible job, and then,
Hmm.
but I don't think so. I think we did a pretty good job.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
really do. There's that. And then we have, I don't know, we always have Super Saturday, which is a mix of work and Bestie Fun and then Sunday Fun Day. But today is extra special Saturday because John is away for the day, which means we get to watch TV during the
Yeah.
day today if we want.
Yes, we can, and
Hmm.
we should.
We
Hmm.
should. Well, we were talking, what shows, we're still in the middle of watching TGCF, which is Heaven
Yeah.
Official's Blessing,
Season two.
um, season two. And then what's the show that we were watching that was your pick? I can't remember what we were watching.
Star Trek Lower Decks.
That's what we were watching.
Yeah, the comedy cartoon. I can't remember what season we're on. Maybe four, three or four.
I
I
don't know
don't
what season it's on either, but it's a fun show. Like
know.
I laugh a lot during that. I really liked it. I just stuck an Altoid in my mouth because I'm stupid and I'm talking, so I probably should not have an Altoid in my mouth while I'm talking. But anyway, those shows are what we're watching, and you and John are watching The Boys. Is that what you're
Yes.
working your way through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's already seen there's four seasons out and there's a fifth and final season coming soon. So he's already seen the first four seasons. So he's
Hmm.
doing a rewatch with me. So we just finished up season two. I think we're
Hmm.
gonna take a break before diving into season three because I think Wheel of Time season
Hmm.
three is coming very soon, and that's like one
Uh-huh.
of his favorite book series of all time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive right into that as soon as it's out.
Yeah. He and my husband have very similar tastes in books.
Hmm.
I will say
Hmm.
that. They both like those epic, like high fantasy, like long, big, like
Yeah.
50 series books that have like, because Craig and I, for listeners at home, we're
Hmm.
not super into those. We like them, but they're not our favorites. As well as like the long descriptions. Like I can
Yeah.
appreciate a long description. I don't have the talent to do it. And I also don't enjoy reading it as much. Like
Hmm.
I like to just get to the point of what I want, but like my husband would love a really long description of something. Like, cause me, I'm like, oh, okay. Like he walked outside. I would never write this, okay, because it sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
But like he walked outside, the grass was green, the sky was blue, like it was a day. And like he would prefer like his foot touched a blade of grass with every stroke, the gray, the green grass like tickled the bottom of the arch of his like and all of that could be like a 50-word description. He'd be like, this was so beautifully written. And I'd be like,
Hmm.
this was so beautifully
Hmm.
boring. Like, I
Hmm.
just, I don't like it. You don't like it either, right? That's not
No,
your
no, no,
jam,
no.
right?
So
Yeah.
I had tried reading I have never really been a fan of Lord of the Rings, but when the
Hmm.
first movie came out,
Hmm.
three or four people got me in the entire book series for
Oh,
Christmas
wow.
that year. So I thought, I'll give it a try. I couldn't make it past page 13, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was lost in Bilbo Baggins' birthday breakfast, I think it was, something like that, or second breakfast, I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
it's like endless descriptions of people and food
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
party and someone's giving a speech and it's like I'm gonna close this book for now and then I just
Yeah.
never picked it back up.
Yeah. That's like, and I know that's like beloved. Like my husband
Yeah.
would be like, What did Craig say? And John probably
Mhm.
too, because I think John loves Lord of the Rings, right? That's like his favorite, right?
He
Yeah,
does, yeah.
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
it's his favorite. Yeah. So
yeah,
we watch the show when it comes
yeah,
out.
yeah,
We haven't watched the recent animated movie, but we've seen all the other movies.
yeah. I
And
like
I
all the
think we're
movies.
rewatching them
Like
soon.
I do enjoy the movies. I just wouldn't want to read the books. And I do recognize like that's really great skill. I just don't have
Hmm.
it. And it's just not
Yeah.
it doesn't hold my attention for some reason when I'm reading it. I'm just like, okay, like I just wanna I guess I just like action and romance more than I like the big
Hmm.
fantasy stuff. So we'll
And
see.
that's of course fine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're different strokes for different folks. That's why we have so
Hmm.
many different genres and so many different books. And then my book is like a romantasy.
Hmm.
So it has
Hmm.
a little bit of fantasy in it. I we went over the elements of fantasy in it to make sure that it fit with romantasy, but it doesn't fit with rom-com and it doesn't fit with action. It just fits
Yeah.
in that. That's where it goes. Um, yours is you describe yours as a romance, drag queens. It's just a
Uh,
romance. It's not a rom-com.
it's not a rom-com.
Mm-mm.
I struggle with romance just a little bit because it's not really a typical, or sorry, a standard romance plot arc. So
Agree.
maybe it's more of like a love story,
Mm-hmm.
contemporary love story. This one does
Mm-hmm.
not have coming out because, oh wait, so the main character doesn't come out because he came out in book one, but someone else comes out. So there's some coming out. And there's like all my young adult books are like coming of age, like coming
Mm-hmm.
into who you are. And so
But I
there's a
think that's
lot of
what they
that as
all
well.
are. Like that's
Yeah,
basically all. Isn't that all YA? Isn't that like
I'd
the
say
whole
that's like a
shtick?
real strong
Yeah, like is
component
all
in most
like
of them.
coming of
Yeah.
age. Like that's
Hmm.
what we're all doing. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
some books just fell off my shelf.
Is it a good one? Is it
Could be a
like,
ghost.
yes, a ghost criticizing your taste?
The ghost dropped Bungo Stray Dogs. So Bungo Stray Dogs is pretty good. That's also an anime, the
Okay.
manga and an anime. It's really good. It's like detective
How does a,
agency.
how does a book just fall off your bookshelf?
I have no idea, but I think the ghost was over there because it just went whoop right off the thing.
Okay.
I don't know, and I don't hear my kids out in the living room because on the other side of that wall is the living room, and I don't hear anyone out there. So I don't know. I guess I
All
maybe
right.
a ghost just wanted me to talk about So Bungo Stray Dogs.
Yeah. So what is it?
No, it's really cute. It's a detect well, okay, it's not cute. I shouldn't say it's cute. The characters are cute. It's exciting. It's like an adventure it's a detective agency, but they deal with all kinds of like supernaturally things. I'm trying to decide the right way to describe it. Hold on. I don't want to
Hmm.
do it any injustice,
Hmm.
but right now I'm a little freaked out that that freaking thing just fell
Like,
off the wall.
was it like spine out, like it'd have to really fall, or was it like face out, or like a
No,
little
no,
bump
no,
to
it's
make it
spine
fall?
out. No, 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 it's spine out. Okay, wait,
Hmm.
actually, I described that absolutely right. Yeah, special detective agency with members that have supernatural powers. There
Okay.
we go.
There
Yes.
we go.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if they would use the word supernatural. So I was like, oh
Hmm.
gosh, maybe I'm using the wrong word. But all the characters are really likable. It's just a fun show. Um, Towards the end, there's always a part that like, you hate that as an author because you never want anyone to say that about your book. Like, I
Hmm.
really wish they hadn't done this, or why would she do that, or
Yeah.
why did he think that was a good idea? There's just like a couple parts that I'm like, why don't do
Hmm.
that? Like, especially Jujutsu Kaisen, like, and this is a spoiler if there's anyone that listens to has watched Jujutsu Kaisen and hasn't seen the end, I don't know what you've been doing. But if you do, there's a spoiler. So I don't know, skip this for like 20 seconds. But like both of the arguably the best characters both die. And they're like,
Oh.
they tease like a romance between them, and you never get to really see it. There is a romance between them, okay? So I don't care what anyone says, I will die on that hill. But like you never get to see it come to fruition. You just see that like how much they really cared about each other and they're best friends. But like they both end up dying. Like, why?
Hmm.
Why did you
Hmm.
do that? Like, I love those characters. And like it's one of those shows where like a character could come back from
Oh
some,
yeah.
some crazy way. So I tried really hard not to get like too emotionally invested when one of them died because I'm like, he's gonna bring him back. He's absolutely gonna bring him back. And then like got to the end and I'm like, oh my God, he
Hmm.
didn't come back. So it's terrible, but like tons of people die in that show. Like tons of
Hmm.
people. The same with
Hmm.
again, spoiler, but these shows have been out for a long time. Attack
Yeah.
on Titan, like that's like, and I know the writer said that. He said, I still wonder if I got the ending right myself. And I'm like, you didn't. You didn't though. Because like the character, like you grow to love, like, because Aaron is both the protagonist and the antagonist, like he's both, and you
Hmm.
love him so much, and like he dies. Like, and that's like the end of the show. And I'm like, I watched him grow up, like from being like a little kid all the way, like, and all he wanted to do was like be free and have freedom for him and his friends. And like the answer was like him dying at the hand of his friends. Like, it was like, I think that was the most traumatic show I've ever watched. Like, honestly, I
Hmm.
think, and actually, to be truth be told, the last episode, I still didn't watch it, the one that he dies, because the character that kills him is my second favorite character, and I refuse to see that
Oh,
happen. I've
yeah.
read the manga, so I've seen it, like in the
Hmm.
manga.
But you don't need
I
that.
just I
Yeah.
refuse to see it, refuse to watch it happen. One of my friends is always like, what can we, are you gonna watch it now? Or are you gonna watch it? I'm like, I will watch it when I want to cry my eyes out. If there is ever
Hmm.
a point that I feel like you, where you like to cry when you watch things sometimes, which I never have felt that yet,
Hmm.
I have that on deck. I will watch that if I want to cry. But I don't like crying. I really don't.
Hmm.
I don't know. But I
Sometimes
have
it's
all
fun.
my friends, but all my friends do. You do. I have tons of friends that are like, sometimes you just need a good cry, just plop something on, sit in your room and cry. And
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. But yeah, I don't know. It was Spine Out and Bungo Stray Dogs took a trip down. So maybe it was a sign I'm supposed to tell you to watch that. We'll add it to the
Might
list,
be.
okay?
Sure.
You, I do think you would probably like it because it is like there's a bit of mystery in it. Like they're trying to figure out who's doing what at all times. But it's kind of like the good agency versus the bad agency,
Yeah, that
going
sounds
back and
fun.
forth. It is fun. So there's that. And then what else do we have? Oh yeah, I don't know. I threw my back out this week, which was fun.
You
It's
did.
finally feeling better. Yes, like I
Good.
told you. I told you
Yeah.
I threw my back out like a grandma. I didn't realize
Hmm.
that we were of the age that that would be something to be expected, that one would bend over to take a dish out of a dishwasher. And I don't know, felt like a 1,000-year-old woman or something. Um,
I've been that age for a while now because that
yeah,
has happened a few times.
yeah. And the doctor was like, this is totally normal. And I was like, what do you mean? Because she said it was a slip disc. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh my God, I can remember being little and hearing about like grown-ups, like when they slipped a disc. And I'm like, oh man, they should just die or something. Like, what? And now I'm like, oh my God, so old. But we're really not that old. Like, are we really? I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
don't. We're not that old. It's so silly. And but you feel old when shit like that happens, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Like it definitely made me feel old. Luckily it went away, so I'm
Yeah.
okay now. I think the most disturbing thing about an injury like that is because you just don't, I didn't do anything. Like I just
Yeah.
reached for a dish. It wasn't like I was doing some crazy gymnastics. Like, hey, you did a cartwheel in your backyard. You probably shouldn't have done that. Like, it was just reaching for a dish. But on the plus side now, I just tell my husband I can't do the dishes. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't. I'm sorry.
That's plus side to everything. But yeah, last time I did that, I was lifting up a garbage, not a garbage bag, a grocery bag. I think it had bread in it. So it wasn't heavy. It wasn't an awkward angle. I wasn't even bending over. It was on the back car seat. So I was just like lifting it straight out.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Twins
barely
lifting
made
a,
it from this front street to the house, and then I just had to lie down for like half an
hmm
hour. I think John put away the groceries because I could
yeah.
not stand up.
Yeah, it hurts bad. It's like a really sharp like pain. It's one of those pains that you can't like move against. Like it's like
Hmm.
whoop, you have to just stay super still. So there's that. But I am all better now, so which is
Good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am really having fun mostly. I'm glad that my back is good because I would have been upset if I had missed out on sprints or anything, which I didn't end up having to
Hmm.
miss any time in Zoom, which is good. But
Hmm.
I am
Hmm.
having fun. One of the reasons that I think that we're doing so well with all our projects is because now we're doing nightly sprints. So
Yes. So we write
before,
every
bef
single day.
yeah, before it was just like once a week we were doing sprints. Wednesday nights we would do them. And now Wednesday
Yes.
night is dedicated like 2+ hours of writing. But now we have at least once, we usually do like 2 sprints a night, usually at the
Hmm.
end of the night. So I don't know, that's really helped. I don't know, it makes me happy
Yeah.
to do sprints like that. And I think that we'll stay on track with all of our projects if we keep it up too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
already
so.
diving into the next one.
Yeah, and that one's written a little bit. Like we're both on to the part. So the thing is though, is like so when I stepped away from You Can Call Me Cooper, which is the thing that I'm working on now, number two, that
Hmm.
was part of book one originally. And you were like, hey, books can't be 240,000 words. So we're going to need to cut this down. So now it's book two, right? But
Hmm.
my writing style has changed so much since then.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I'm having to like almost, because really the story's done, right? So in essence, I could have said, hey,
Hmm.
here's book two and been done. But I can't because A, remember they were, well, we've already talked about this, but for listeners at home, originally when I wrote that story, they were in their 20s, and then Craig and John wanted it for YA, so we had to age them down. So now I'm seeing the problem with that is that these characters are doing things that are way too old for 18-year-olds. So I think we're going to introduce a time skip, should fix that,
Hmm.
I think.
Or alternate universe where you do adult things at 18.
That is maybe true, I guess. There are some things that would probably not be very believable. But then again, these guys are rich, so I think
Mhm.
everything is possible for rich people,
I think so. Yes.
especially in a fictional world. I do think it's important to remember that we're writing fiction, though. Sometimes
Hmm.
I forget, and I'm like, oh, well, someone would question how this could happen or how that could happen. And I think that just comes down to the type of reader that's reading your book, because some readers want things to be extremely realistic so that they can put themselves in the character shoes, and other people are like, oh, he can
Hmm.
suddenly fly. That's totally
Hmm.
normal, which nobody's flying in my books.
Well, not yet. You
No,
are in the process of rewriting.
that's true. Actually, yeah. We should give them the hoverboards that we were
Hmm.
promised, the hoverboards from Back to the Future.
That
We
was
should
supposed to
just
be
put
like
those in.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, where is my hoverboard, by the way?
Now
But
that's a
you
movie I actually have not seen.
Back to the
I've not
Future?
seen, I haven't seen any of them.
What? Oh my
Hmm.
gosh. So I haven't seen them since I was really, really young. So I have no idea what they're like. Like
Hmm.
I'm only going purely based off of memory. Like that.
Yeah.
I thought they were cool when I was really, really little, like I don't know, 8 or 9 or something. So they
Hmm.
could be horrible. I have no idea. But I don't remember them as an
Yeah.
adult. I know that I saw them all and I remember like certain parts from them. But yeah, I didn't know you didn't see any of those.
Yeah, I've
Interesting.
seen like parts of them, and I know
Yeah.
like the loose outline of what happened. No, I wouldn't even say I know the loose outline. I don't. All I know is like they have the DeLorean car.
Yeah.
I used to know
Mm-hmm.
someone that was like obsessed with the car, so I know it's a
Mm-hmm.
DeLorean, and he knew like the model and everything. And I know it like so that's how they get back. That's how they get in the past is like
Yeah.
driving the car
Yeah.
through lightning bolts or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't remember how the science works, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But yes, they drive the car back and forth through Back to the Future and
Hmm.
Back to the Past. Back to the whatever. Yes. But I don't know. We'll have to maybe add it to the list. We'll see. I have no idea.
Hmm.
We have a very long list of things to get through, to be
Yeah,
honest.
we do. That's fine.
Today we were talking about watching Pretty Woman
Yes,
because I
another
haven't
movie I
seen it.
haven't seen.
Yeah,
Oh, you
I
haven't
haven't
seen it
seen that
either?
since I was young. No, no, no.
Oh, right,
And I
right.
remember
Yeah.
I told you my dad used to cut out all the my dad must have been like one of the original people. Well, I think everyone did that. You'd like record the shows when they were on TV with like a VHS thing.
Yeah.
Did you guys do that or no? Like record
Oh, yeah,
stuff?
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would record the movies, but then he would cut out any of like the sex scenes. So like now as an adult, I'm like, this was a movie about a prostitute. There was clearly sex scenes in it. There had to have been, but like I
Hmm.
never saw them, so I don't know what's in the movie. I don't know what's in the movie. I just like to me, I like, oh, this is a really cute love story I saw when I was really little. But I
I
don't.
think it is rated R, so I imagine there is some sex in there.
Yeah, but rated R back in the day. Oh, actually, that should
That's true.
mean no, no. I think that should mean it was worse.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
Hmm.
rated R back in the day meant there was probably like actual sex in it.
It might have,
That's
yes.
what I feel like. Because
Mhm.
like now, PG-13 is like sex. There's not
Yeah.
like, because before PG-13 was like, I don't know, bras and boobs and bras. And now like it's like PG is like a bra. I don't think it's even
Hmm.
censored at all. So I think the censors were more lax than they were now, right? Is that what we're saying? Or no, no, they're stricter then, more
Yeah,
lax now. That's
I
what I
think
mean.
so. Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if it was rated R, it was probably something. Why don't we
But
just look it up?
even
I
if it's
don't know.
got sex scenes. Like John and my mom and I are working through some of the Academy Award
Oh yeah, you
movies.
told me.
And what was it called? So like there's lots of nudity in The Substance starring Demi Moore. Um, but no sex scene. But what is it? Honora. That is about a like a exotic dancer
Hmm.
who sometimes doubles as like an escort. And you just see her like topless riding
Hmm.
guys for like
Hmm.
the first half of the movie. I will say it's very uncomfortable to watch that with your mother.
I can
Um,
imagine.
for
Yeah,
listeners at home, I would not
yeah,
recommend that.
yeah,
It is a very good movie, but don't watch it with your
yeah.
parents.
When you came back, do you remember what you said to me after you watched it?
I think I said I've seen so many boobs today.
Yeah, so you said, I've seen so many boobs tonight. I was like, well, hello. But yeah, and the Academy Awards are tomorrow night, right?
They
Or is it
are, that's
Monday?
right.
Tomorrow,
No,
right?
they're
Yeah,
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
terms of when we're recording, in terms of when we release, I guess it would be yesterday because this is coming out Monday, right? Monday, March
Yeah,
3rd.
we're recording late today. Today is
Yeah.
actually Saturday, March 1st. We usually record like the week before, but we've been kind of
Hmm.
busy again with the 50
Yeah.
million things that we're doing.
Yeah.
And after this, besides tofu, we have like a whole bunch of other stuff that we have to do too. So, yeah, we figured we would just have a quick little besties chat episode and catch
Hmm.
up on projects. And then I know which week is this? This is the next episode is the next episode Harry F. Ray?
It is
It
Harry F. Ray.
is! Yay! Harry's gonna be back, and I think we're gonna have the professor on too. Your
Hmm.
hubby's coming on. The professor is coming on, so we'll see. And that I know we're gonna talk about vampire twinks and werewolves and all kinds
Whatever
of.
it is those two want to talk about.
I
We'll
have
just
no idea.
like have a drink and sit back and let those two at it.
Yeah, I don't even know if we're gonna get to talk next week. We'll have to see what
Hmm.
happens. But I'm excited. I do love when we get to have Harry on. It's always fun. And John too. It's always fun to
Hmm.
have John too. But yeah, I like when it's all four of us. The last time we got a little tipsy and we thought that we weren't tipsy until we listened to the podcast after. And they were
Hmm.
like, "Oh, we did sound a little
Yeah.
bit drunk." Yeah, we did.
Hmm.
So we'll see. It's mid-afternoon we're recording, so that could happen again.
Yeah. Mid-afternoon for us, later in the evening for him.
Hmm.
Depends if you want to drink before bed. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. And then we do have one of our authors, Jay Heron. We'll have him on soon to promote his new release. He's got a bunch of books coming.
Releases. Yeah.
Releases, yeah. Jay has a bunch of books coming out with us, and I'm excited to get to know him because he seems really
Hmm.
super nice. Great addition. And we have a lot of books coming out, so not just from us, but from the
Yeah.
brands. And I think we said last time that we were opening up to middle grade books, but we are open for middle grade submissions. So if anyone knows anyone or wants to submit
Hmm.
anything, we are have our hands out
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
middle grade submissions. Yeah.
Very soon we're gonna have the actual call for submissions up
Mm-hmm.
on deepheartsya.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you write middle grade fiction and it does not have a queer element, which would be required for middle grade on Deep Hearts, we do sometimes publish middle grade in Under Dreamsphere. So
That's
that can
true.
be sci-fi, fantasy, general
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah.
So if you are a middle grade author and you're looking for a publisher that is excited to take on your book, definitely give
Mm-hmm.
us a try and see if we're a good match.
Yeah, for sure. And then you get to work with me most of the time.
Hmm.
Who doesn't want? No, I'm just kidding. But I do love working with authors. It's always fun. So I hope we get lots of submissions.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that started with Ezra, who we had on. We
Yes,
had RD on a couple weeks ago, right? I
we
didn't.
did. I
I've
think that
lost
was the
track
last
of.
up. That was
Was
the
it?
last episode. I think so.
I don't know, but we were supposed to talk about the Valentine's Day candy that we made for our husbands, and we did
Oh,
not
that's
do
right.
that. We
That's
didn't
right.
end up recording that, and we promised that we were going to do it. But when we made the candy, it was like honestly like 11:30 at night. It was almost midnight when we ended up making it, so we didn't want to record. Um, so it
Mhm.
was too late. But the candy came out so good.
It was really good, especially
Yeah.
the one that we just sort of made up on the fly, the
Yeah,
peanut
we
butter
made up our own
truffles.
recipe. I think that that's the best thing is when we make up our own recipes and then they end up being better than the recipe we're following. Because I think
Mhm.
next year when we do it, I'll definitely make more of the peanut butter ones. Because I
Yes.
made
Yeah.
less of those to just try and see because I didn't know since we were screwing with the recipe. And then those like six I think I made were the best ones they were. Because remember how creamy they were? They
Oh,
were
they were so good.
delicious.
So good.
My
Yes.
God. But I think we'll make them again next year. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know. They weren't that difficult to make.
Oh no, they were really easy because you just like melt a bunch of stuff together, you give it a mix and let it cool so it gets
Yeah.
sort of like
Yeah.
hard-ish.
Yeah. The only thing that was
Yeah.
difficult was the dipping them in
Oh
to
yeah.
make them look pretty. So like if you want
Mhm.
them to look pretty, that's a different story.
Yeah. We're
Um
not good at that.
we
Maybe
can't help you
next
with
year.
that. But they tasted good. And we do
Hmm.
have pictures on our Instagram of those when we actually made them. We posted those. So anyway, I think that is probably it. And we'll probably be making some more food coming up soon. Are we making a roast this weekend? We went back and forth on that.
Oh
We're
yeah, I'm
making a
not
roast on
sure.
Monday or Tuesday. I can't
It's
remember what we
somewhere around there.
decided.
Yeah, it's really uncertain because John makes a big fettuccine Alfredo for Oscars night. And we
Hmm.
usually have leftovers, so we might be eating that for an extra day or possibly two.
Hmm.
And then yeah, I've been really into crock pot stuff
Yeah.
lately, and we've
Well,
been taking on some adventurous
yeah.
cooking.
Well, we just made the chili last week. The chili
Yep.
was okay. Chili I would have given like a seven,
Yeah, I think we
six
both
point
agreed if
five,
it had a bit
seven.
of like tomato paste to thicken it up, that would have made
Yeah.
a big difference.
There was something missing, and that was what we surmised that it was. It was that it had to be
Hmm.
tomato paste because it was red. It was like
Yeah.
that, whatever the red is and normally in chili, that's what we were missing because it just wasn't, it was more like a taco beef. Like it didn't taste like that,
Yes.
but it
Yeah.
was like a taco filling that I could have
Like
just
a
tossed in
taco soup.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that was kind of, I don't know. It was okay. Just wasn't mind blowing or
Hmm.
anything. All right. So anyway, I think that is it for
Yeah.
us. So this was fun, and now we're gonna get to work for the rest of
Yeah.
the
Gonna
day.
make some tofu, write some books.
Yeah, write some books, make another cover, and yeah, definitely
Hmm.
stay tuned to our socials so that can see when all of our new releases are coming out for us and for all the brands. And you can do that by following us where, Bestie?
You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Twitter, at least for the moment on Twitter, at Cali Craig Talk, CaliCraigTalk. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I lost track. Every time when I edit the podcast at the end, I'm always listening and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Okay, that's the only time I know.
Okay.
But besides that, we didn't do the final thought of the day.
Final thought of the day. Oh,
Mm,
geez.
mm-hmm.
Final thought of the day is,
Mm-hmm.
final thought of the day is,
I don't know.
um,
I'm leaving
don't
this in though.
watch movies with lots of sex with your parents. That'd be number one. Number two is I'll give an actual like writing related one. So we're
Mm,
finding that writing every single day is working for us for writing,
mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
don't do some like find what works for you. So for some people that means write 15 minutes in the morning every day. Some people it's like, oh, I need a big binge write every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real rule to it. Just do
No.
whatever helps you get through your books and helps you feel excited about what you're doing.
Yeah, because if you're not excited about it, it's going to
Yeah.
show in the writing. So,
Hmm.
yeah, and lucky for us, we have 50,000 projects to rotate
Yeah.
between. So if we're not excited about one, we just
Just
bounce to
flip it.
another one. Yeah. All right. So that is it for us. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we will
Thank
see you
you.
next time.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye
Bye.
bye bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye for real. Bye for real this time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Okay, bye.